live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello, hello, hello.
I am Jarrett, the football genius Burgess.
And I am Stephanie Fitzpatrick, aka the Advantage Coach.
This is episode 173 of the Field to the Real podcast. And for timing purposes, we're going to jump right into Who's Really Right.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so you, like myself, have seen what the New England Patriots have looked like over the past few years since the departure of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And they've been a middle of the road, middling sort of team.
Yep. And
I'm not sure about your perspective on this, but I think that I expected a little more out of Bill Belichick. And I think part of me was like, well, he just needs a little bit of time. He has to retool. He's lost a Hall of Fame quarterback, the GOAT for most people.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know who our GOAT is. I'm just saying, I'm acknowledging that he is somebody's GOAT.
Yes.
Or a lot of people's GOAT, actually.
A lot of people's GOAT, yes.
But, you know, Belichick, he gets referred to as the GOAT of coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of the Super Bowls that he has won with Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady has won a Super Bowl without him, thus solidifying in a lot of people's mind.
And close to another one. Yeah.
Was close to another one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, I don't know how close he was to the second, but.
Well, closer than Bill Belichick was. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, no, for certain. I don't know that they were ever in danger of beating the Rams last year. I know people talk about that comeback, but I don't think I was ever like worried.
Yeah.
But could we still consider Bill Belichick the GOAT of coaches if he does not win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady?
As much as it pains me to say, because I am not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
We can't take away from what he accomplished, regardless of how he did it.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like he probably could not be middle of the road and they could be better this whole GOAT thing is so hard, because does GOAT mean that you are the best at it, or are you the greatest to ever do it? You get what I mean? And so GOAT is different than best to me.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
Okay. Because I feel like the part that could have solidified him as GOAT, and while I do believe he is, I think that what could have curtailed any debate from anybody about it being about Tom Brady is, here's the part where being the best comes into play for me. And that is, the best coaches know how to make adjustments with who they have as personnel.
Right.
And I thought long and hard about this after I saw you put this up here, because instinctually, I want to go against what I know to be true, right? I know that he is the GOAT in the mind of most And so I will say he's solidified himself as GOAT regardless, just because of statistics. My issue is the person, the coach, the human being, right? Not the stats. And that's when I say if he could have solidified it, had he been able to do better than with a Mac Jones, who is not Tom Brady, had you been able to put your ego and pride to the side, that's all this is about, really, to make adjustments based on your personnel, even when you had Cam Newton, had you been able to not try to force somebody to fit into a system, but adjust your coaching, then you would have solidified it in probably everybody's mind, even without winning a Super Bowl, that you were the GOAT, because they would have seen you be the best at coaching. What you've done is solidified yourself statistically because you were the best, you had the best system for a particular person. I told you I thought a lot about this.
Yeah, no.
But you solidified yourself as the GOAT only on stats, though. I'm gonna just say that. Because Gino Auriemma came to my mind as one of the best.
Yeah. Because
he understood that he needed to make adjustments based on his personnel.
Okay.
And that's why, even though he might not have won a national champion, they might not have won consistently, they were still beyond mediocre, even after he lost some really big names along the way. Maya left, and then you had, you know what I mean? So but you were continually above average.
Right. Well, I think, especially with college sports, that's going to continue to perpetuate it. So I went with somebody else to compare him to. I went with somebody else in the pro ranks because I feel like, or at least it's supposed to be, I feel like free agency is the great equalizer.
Yes.
In college sports.
Even for college now.
You get the pick of the litter with college sports, especially being somebody like Gino Auriemma, who's going to always get the.
That's why he ain't winning like that, though. It ain't that way no more.
Well, I still think that I think that now there has been a little bit of a shift.
Yeah.
But the top 100 players in the country, he's going to get his pick of those. Yeah. You look at some other teams who probably won't get one player out of that top 100. But it's different in the NBA where you have free agency and you can attract players to, because based off of how you can pay them and stuff like that. So the coach that I associated this conversation with was Lord, his name just escaped me.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Head coach of the Bulls and the Lakers. Pat Riley is who keeps coming to my mind, but it's not Pat Riley, it's Phil Jackson.
Oh, so, I was like, I'm thinking, are you saying Phil Jackson? I was like, okay,
I was saying Phil Jackson, but Pat Riley just kept coming to mind. So I'm gonna make this short and sweet.
Master at it though. You're right.
So we saw Phil Jackson won with the Bulls.
Yep.
Left the Bulls, won with the Lakers.
Yep.
Now, while some people may make the argument he won with two superstars, my argument always for LeBron being a GOAT is that with Phil Jackson having won championships with both the Lakers and the Bulls, he's solidified as one of the GOAT coaches in the NBA, right?
Yes.
He's on that Mount Rushmore of the top 4 coaches in the NBA. I think that until Bill Belichick wins a Super Bowl without Tom Brady, we can't put him up there because when removing a variable, right? So the variable of Bill Belichick was removed from Tom Brady and he still won.
Yes.
When removing the variable of Tom Brady from Bill Belichick, if he can't still win, then one of the things that people's minds is going to be, how great of a coach Is he? And did he only win because Tom Brady? We saw Tom Brady leave and go win somewhere else.
Yes.
Bill Belichick has to do that in order to, in my opinion, in order to be considered the GOAT. And while you can't take away his accomplishments, just like for me, when I make the conversation about Jordan, you know, and I won't go deep into that, but in making that conversation about Jordan, he won after he got Phil, did not win before and did not win after. And so I feel like when you speak about them, when you speak about Jordan, and I feel like a lot of people for whatever reason don't connect this, is that he had Phil Jackson, which now Phil Jackson is linked to Kobe Bryant. And all of the championships that Kobe won was with Phil Jackson. So that speaks to more of the greatness of Phil Jackson.
I see that.
I see that. You know, Belichick can't brag about that because when he was with the Cleveland Browns, he flamed out. He got with the Patriots, and by all accounts, he did not want to play Tom Brady, even though people said that Tom Brady was the better looking quarterback over Drew Bledsoe. And it took for Drew Bledsoe to get hurt for Tom Brady to play.
Yeah.
You know, and so I would say now he has to do it without Tom Brady. For me, in my mind, to say, all right, yeah, he's the guy.
So this makes me think we have to have another conversation, possibly next week then, because who is the GOAT in the NFL?
Bill Walsh.
If he's not.
Walsh.
Okay. Well, I guess we don't have to have the conversation next week.
Yeah. No, I still think that we can go through, like, we could talk about Tomlin, even though Tomlin hasn't enjoyed some of Mike Tomlin, even though he doesn't have like the accomplishments. And that's this is the one I was trying to get when you said the difference between being the best and being the GOAT.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's the difference between being the most accomplished, right? And being the best. Because Robert Horry has 8 championships, right? But we don't consider him a GOAT.
We don't.
And we're going to talk about him a little later. Bill Russell has 11 in 13 years.
Yeah. But we do now. He get his props though. But he don't be in that GOAT conversation.
He don't be in that conversation, right? You know what I'm saying? And so he is the most accomplished. He has 11 championship rings.
Right.
11. But then the people who want to make the arguments for who they want to make the arguments for in the GOAT conversation, they somehow use the times to diminish his accomplishments.
Yeah, the difference in this.
But that's a whole rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah, we won't do that. But so I guess if we just put it out there, guys, I'm saying he is, painfully as much as it pains me, he is.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. I don't know. Yeah, he's the GOAT.
I'm saying he still needs to add to his resume. Because when you remove variables, you know, I don't know that this resume stacks up. Because Walsh won with Joe Montana and Steve Young.
And Steve Young, yeah. No, I'm not denying that that's true, but I don't think if we just how these people on TikTok get out in the street and just randomly ask people questions, that's not who's gonna come to their mind. If you just say who's the GOAT, who's the GOAT
I doubt it.
as a coach, it's not gonna be him.
It's gonna. I mean, I feel like for a lot of people, it's gonna be Belichick.
Yeah.
Especially the people inside of New England. Now the people outside of New England, and so in some of the conversations I've had, they feel the same way about Brady and Belichick, and it's typically those people who love Tom Brady.
Of course. Yeah. Well,
we know I love neither. So
yeah, I'm like, neither one of them gets my heart. So we're totally not being biased in this conversation. Like, if anything, it's probably the opposite. It's hard to even have it, right?
Yeah.
But so let us know.
Let us know.
Put the cameras on me. 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 Put the cameras on me.